Okay, so this is going to be how you can download Hoopla to use to read books virtually. So you can use the Enoch Pratt website to read books virtually, or you can use Hoopla or Libby. So this is going to be for Hoopla. So what I did was I opened up my app store and I typed in Hoopla, Hoopla, and I downloaded the app, and I already did that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the app. Once you open up the app, you're going to click on Don't Have an Account, Sign Up right at the bottom. Then you're going to need to enter an email address. And I'm going to enter mine. And then I'm actually going to cut out the part where I put in my password because it shows what it is. But in just a second, you'll see that I've entered my password. So it needs to be between 8 and 40 characters, and you're going to have to type it in twice. Okay, so now that I have my password and my email, I'm going to hit next. Now you're going to choose your library. So if you have your Bluetooth on, it will use your location, and you can see that Enoch Pratt pops up because that's the one closest to where you are. But if it doesn't show up, you can just use the search right there and type in Enoch Pratt. But I'm going to click on Enoch Pratt, and then I'm going to hit agree. Now you're going to need your card number and your PIN number. So I have my card number from when I just signed up. So I'm going to start typing that in. And then I'm going to type in my PIN number. And then I'm going to hit next. Now it says, congratulations, your library allows patrons to borrow up to 15 titles from Hoopla each month. So one thing that I learned is that even when you return a book, like let's say you borrow a book and you start reading it and you don't like it and you return it, that still counts toward your 15. So don't just go downloading a bunch of books at one time because you might not like them. Make sure that you're being a little bit picky because you only have 15 a month. So now you're going to hit continue. And now you are in Hoopla and you can browse video, music, and books. So I'm going to hit browse books. Because you're going to go to ebooks up at the top. And you can start looking through the books. Now you'll notice some of these books might look interesting to you and some of them might not. So what I would do is you can go to filter up at the top left, and then you can go to this that says children's titles only. And you can close out of that just by clicking anywhere on the screen. If I already know the title of my book, I'm going to go down here at the bottom right where it says search. And then you can search by title, artist, or series. Percy Jackson. Let me see if Percy Jackson is up. So you can see as I'm typing Percy Jackson, it's already popping up. So then you can start scrolling through and seeing which book you want to read. But if you're not sure, you can go back to the bottom where it says book, at the very bottom where it has the word book and then it has the book next to it, and you can just start scrolling through. So once you find a book that you want to read, and I'm going to click on Sideways Stories of Wayside School because I've never read it, so it sounds interesting. You can click on the book. Then you're going to hit borrow. Now you'll notice at the bottom it says this title is available for 21 days after you borrow it. So once you borrow it, you're going to hit, you're going to get a message that tells you you can only borrow it for 21 days. And if you're sure you want to borrow it, hit borrow. And it's going to start downloading. Once it's finished downloading, it'll say read. So this is what it's going to look like when you open up the app to read the book. So if you want to read, you're going to, I have mine, like this, you're going to swipe to read the page. Now mine is a little slow, but typically the text would show up. There we go. So as you swipe, and you might have to swipe a few pages, especially if it is a chapter book, it might be a few pages until you actually get to the story. And now you can start reading. And whenever you close out of the book, let's say you leave and you come back, the book will pick up where you left off. So that's one really good thing. It's kind of like a virtual bookmark. Now, if you finish the book and you want to return it, when you click on the book, it'll say resume if you're reading it. And then down here, it says this title automatically returns on Tuesday, September 8th. That means that on Tuesday, September 8th, the book is going to go away. But if you're done, you can return it early. And I'm going to return it. And you can check out as many books as you want, up to 15 books. So if you're reading this and you decide that you want to read a different book at the same time, you can totally do that. And it'll stay on your shelf until the return date. So that is how you use Hoopla. If you're going to use it, I recommend just kind of playing around with it, seeing what works for you. But that's one way that you can check out books. I will say the Hoopla does not tend to have newer releases. So that's just something to keep in mind. If there's a book coming out that you really want to read, it might not be on Hoopla.